Hello my friends! Today I'll show you how to make an underwater background and a water surface effect in Lost Ocean by Johanna Basford. I will use Faber-Castell Soft Pastels. There are a lot of shades that will allow me to put several shades of blue in my sea water. To protect my book and the next page, I'll add an A3 sheet that I cut and that I slip behind the pages that I'm going to color. In that way, I don't risk adding pastel neither on the binding nor on the edge on the following pages. For the background, I'll use the cutter technique. I'll scrape the pastel on a plate. If you want to use the same colors as me, you'll see that I numbered the columns and the rows. So you can use pastel number 11 of the third column, number 12, and this one. This is pastel number 7 in column 4. I'll also prepare a little yellow. I take a cotton pad that I fold, and with the corner I take the pastel crumbs and I apply them on my sheet. Here above, I use green and yellow because that's the place where the sun enters into the water. As there are no animals in this area, it allows me to add reflections of light. I also have a damp cloth to clean my finger when I put soft pastel on it. Otherwise, I'll print my fingerprints in pastel on the drawing. Don't worry if you go over the pattern a little bit, on the dolphin for example. Soft pastel is very easy to erase. Here, I'm going to start the bottom part of the background. I would like it to be a gradient of blue from light to dark, but I don't want to start the blue here, because if I do that, the page will really be split in half, green above and blue below. And it's already split in half by the school of fish. So that's going to be too much. That's why I'm already going to start the blue here, partly in the green. I take really very little and check on a separate sheet if it's not too strong before applying very gently on my background. To go to the next color, I keep my cotton, which was used with the turquoise color, so there will be a good fade. If I took a white part of my cotton, I would have a too clear limit between the two colors, so I'm using the part that I've already used. Your surface must not be completely regular and homogeneous. It's water. In the water there are eddies, so if you have darker areas and lighter areas, it serves your drawing. Now I'll erase the pastel that has overflowed on my animals using my Derwent electric eraser, or for smaller areas I can use Tombow Mono Zero eraser. The easiest for you is still to use the pastels after coloring, since you can follow the videos in any order you want. Once the pastel is set, it's even more important to put a white sheet to put your hand down, otherwise, you see I already have some here, you risk transferring it to white areas of your drawing. Here we are in the second step of the soft pastel background. I'll try to achieve a water surface effect seen from below. First, I'll accentuate the background to have a more dense effect to enhance the surface effect. The technique consists of applying the pastel directly to your sheet and to blend it with your finger. It's a little bit messy. Remember to bring a small damp cloth. To achieve a surface effect, I'll use my electric eraser. I still protect my page with a sheet. With the electric eraser, I'll draw small wavy lines on the surface that I will leave white. I remove the eraser's crumbs with a makeup brush. The closer to the top of the sheet, the thicker the lines. From time to time, I rinse my eraser on my white sheet to remove the pastel that remained on it. And now, with a cotton swab on which I take a little bit of blue, that I attenuate on my white sheet, I draw shadows along some of my white lines. And I'm applying those shadows a little lower than where I erased the lines. In the place where my northern gannet dives in the water, I'll erase small circles, which represent the bubbles of air into the water. We do the same for the second northern gannet, who dived here, who entered the school of fish and came up with a fish in the bill.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small.
I add green to soften my blue
We
lines.
sit together, it's so beautiful. You and me, we meant to be in the great outdoors.
And I add a few rays of light with a ruler, which start from the most illuminated area.
Sometimes you need to go.
Don't make them all the same thickness or the same interval.
To see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me, we're meant to be in the great outdoors.
Then we blur the end of the ray with the finger so that it gets lost in the water.
You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors.
And you can also add very fine ones with Tombow Mono Zero eraser. They don't have to be continuous, they don't all have to touch the surface. Light reflects on microparticles in the water, so it doesn't always start from the surface. Here I'm going to make it coincide with the lines that I put on the back of the dolphin. We can see that these lines are reflections. We then rework with white Posca the places where you have erased. I make small bubbles with white Posca on areas that are already a little white. Then we will use pencil to give relief to these bubbles. Here, the water goes downwards since we have the bird which dives, and therefore the lines follow the movement. Now, with my blue slate, I shade lightly the white lines that I made with Posca, so we can see them better. And then I soften these lines with powder blue to blur them. On this area, I'll use green because the sun hits directly the water at this place. And I soften my green shadows with white. I first check on a sheet that there are no more traces of dark color on my white pencil. Here we are in a very light area, so if you have some gray or blue on your white pencil, it will immediately make a big stain. Now we add the bubbles that come out of the dolphin vent. And then we are going to give these bubbles a little relief by circling them, but only the bottom with blue slate. To apply the pastel around my fish, I'll take this one or this one, according to the effect. And I rub a cotton on the pastel and I apply it between the fish. If the spaces are too small for the cotton, you can work with a cotton swab.
I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see.
Here, you see there are little strokes that have remained from my application of pastel. I want to remove them. The solution for that is the kneadable eraser. It's a kind of gum. You knead it and you use it to dab the areas where you want to lighten your pastel.
We meant to be.
You can either dab or, if that is not enough, you can rub in small lines. The eraser doesn't leave anything on your sheet. It only absorbs the pastel, so when it's saturated, you remix it.
Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you.
This effect I got here with the kneadable eraser gives an impression of movement of the school of fish, and so I'm going to reproduce this effect all along the school fish. Now it's time to apply the Posca to finalize the bubbles of the second northern gannet which dives into the water.
Great outdoors.
I continue the movement. So here the movement goes down and up, so I will do the edge first.
Meant to be in the great outdoors. Forever free.
And I fill this edge with bubbles, small ones and big ones. While waiting for it to dry, I erase the luminous halo around the lamp of my lantern fish. And then I darken certain areas with my blue slate to increase the contrast. Here we are! We've achieved an underwater background with a surface effect seen from below and a splash effect. Thank you for watching and see you soon in other videos. Happy colorings!